What's up friends, Chook here, and welcome to my Bit Heroes free-to-play beginner's guide series. This video series is aimed at people who are interested in Bit Heroes, but aren't fully aware of what type of game it is, and for new players to the game who may be a little confused or unaware of some of the aspects and mechanics of the game. If you'd like to add me as a friend in Bit Heroes, please leave a comment with your in-game name and that you've sent me a friend's request. For example, I've sent you a friend's request, and my in-game name is ChickenLover. Now that's all said and done, let's begin. I've got a lot of questions from you guys, both in-game and on YouTube recently about energy and how to get more. So it's like, oh, I am always out of energy and I want to play, but I don't have the energy to do so, you know, da-da-da-da-da, how do I get more, etc, etc. So this is the 4 ways actually, to get more energy. One is to just wait. You will get 1 energy every 4 minutes. So, you know, the very first episode, I said this is like a semi-idle type game. You can't sit here and play this for 5 hours in a row. Well, I guess you could, but you would be waiting a long time in between things to do. Unless you wanted to go fishing a lot, which is... Anyway, we're talking about energy. So 1 is to wait for 4 minutes, and you'll get 1 energy. 2, you can spend gems to buy energy. Do not do this, ever. Just don't. Like, it's the biggest waste of... No, just don't do it. So consider those two, like, one you'll just get naturally and the other one isn't really viable. The 2 ways you can get it outside of just waiting are these. 1 is in the guild store or in the guild shop. Just by playing the game, if you're in a guild, you will get this guild honor stuff here. So you don't need to do anything to activate this or anything. It's just you join a guild and you play and you will accumulate these points, these honor points. I think they're called honor. Anyway, is it? Yes, it is. Oh, there we go. You gain honor equal to 10% of all the guild XP you earn. Now, you can exchange these for multiple different things, but one of them is an average energy potion. So you can see here that this will increase your current energy by 50. Costs 15 grand. So, 15,000 honor, I should say. So this is one way. Now, what I like to do is, when I first started, I bought like trike here, and I bought, I bought ground candy, antlers, the captain's flag, and trike, love boy, and voodoo wings. Purely all just for cosmetics, just, you know, to have them basically. But since then, I have spent basically all of the honor that I get on average energy potions. I always keep some honor in the bank effectively, so that say it's a GVG week and you need these badges to do GVG, and like say, you know, there's a couple of hours left on GVG and we're, you know, short a couple of points or something, I can just quickly buy a bunch of these and, you know, do some more. Or same thing with PvP. If I'm in 1 tier lower than in PvP than I need to be and it's only a couple of 100 points or something, I can jump in here and buy a few and I'm good to go. But majority of the time I spend it all on average energy potions. So if we go to my consumables page, we can see I've just got 20 sitting here. I did have about 80 or so, but I used about 60 of them yesterday. I just sat on the couch and watched a movie and just used these and did a heap of world bosses trying to get some legendaries. So that's one way. The other way is through the trade option in the crafting menu. So if we go down to trade, go across the trade, and then we go down, we can see here we can trade in these 100 bronze coins and 3 silver coins for 20 energy. Alternatively, you can also do that to get badges and PvP tokens and all sorts of stuff. And I may as well talk about this trade option here while we're here. I've not once traded any of this common material and gold to get rare material, but the option is there if you need to. Basically, everything in this trade menu is more expensive than it needs to be, and I would advise not using it if you can, just because using a lot of X materials to get a little bit of other X materials, of Y materials, say. So think of it as a last resort. But if you need, you know, 10 epic material to upgrade something, you can do this. So you see here, I only have 1.6k rare materials. If I was to do this, I'd use 1/3 of my stockpile of this just to get 10 of these. So it's not really worth it in the end, but you can do it if you need to. Now I have a heap of these bronze coins. So I could use, 50 of these bronze coins and one of these silver coins to get a minor item find scroll, or, a minor experience tomb or whatever. Or I could use the 100 bronze coins and 3 of these silver coins to get energy. And I have done this before. This is probably the one that I used more than any, but the difference between this and the average energy potion or whatever it was called from GVG is this. If we buy it right now, so we can see that I'm on 63 energy. So if I go craft, trade, and I go down here and I buy it, 20 energy. Oops. Once this disappears, you can see I'm up to 83. So it doesn't go into your bag where you can use it as a later date. It just automatically uses it straight away. So if you're looking to stockpile energy in your bag so that you can use it all in one day, for instance, and this is something I haven't really gone over yet, but the bonuses, the daily bonuses, so today's is 30% experience and 50% capture rate. On Sundays is 50% item find. So say you wanted to use all of your energy on Sunday because there's better item find, free item find on it. You could buy all of those potions from the guild store and stockpile them in your bag. Whereas if you go to the craft, trade, and go to this option, you can't stockpile them. It goes straight into your energy bar. So you could just do that and trade, this like 50 times or something, and your energy would go past the cap, which is fine, and use them all on the day. But just be aware that if you do actually do this trade, it gives you the energy straight away and you can't actually keep it in your bag. So just something to be aware of. And as I mentioned, you can do it for PvP tickets and badges. You can trade silver coins for gold coins. You can trade all of these for some gems if you need to, but again, it's quite expensive and not really worth it. But if you're 20 gems short of something, might be an idea. You could do this. And then you've got the higher tier of the consumables, of the item find and experience. Then you have, mouse isn't working. Then you have a super expensive way to get 1 stat point. I don't recommend doing this, but again, it's your account, you can do whatever you want. And then you can trade lower tier potions for higher tier potions. So you can trade your minor healing potions and some gold for a average healing potion. But be aware that you're trading in 10 minor healing potions for 1 average healing potion. I don't think this is worth it. Most of the time, if you're using a healing potion or a revive potion, whatever it is, it's to get, that little bit of a top up. Even though you can only use 1 potion on 1 part of member of your team per dungeon or raid or whatever it be, using 10 of these that give you 40% to get 60% just doesn't seem worth it to me. But again, you can do whatever you like. And next is runes. I spoke about runes and which ones to go for and which ones are good and everything, but I never actually mentioned how to get them, which was my bad. And this is how you do it in the trade option here. So my recommendation for runes, we'll quickly go into this, is that I would definitely get minor runes first. So if you click on the minor rune here, it will show you what you can get. So you can get 5% gold find, 5% capture rate, 5% experience, or 5% item find. Now, early on when you're starting off, probably experience is the way to go, but I wouldn't just I would buy 2 and kind of be happy with what you've got, because you're going to be upgrading them fairly quickly. So this is just like any other piece of gear. It's all tiered. So these are green, then you go to blue, then you go to purple, and then you go to yellow. So common, rare, epic, and legendary. So just buy whichever tier you want. Like start off with green because it's cheap or whatever, and then move up as you go. So until you get up to probably the epics or something, kind of just be happy with what you get for the minor ones at least. Then you've got the major runes. So if we quickly go to my rune page, you can see here I'm level 236 and I'm still using the experience ones purely because I bought 2 legendary ones and they both happen to be experience ones. I was going for item find. Well, I was hoping for item find, but they're legendary runes, so I may as well use them. So you get 2 minor runes, you get 4 major runes, and then you get 1 meta rune. So just keep that in mind, 2, 4, and 1. So if we go back to the craft and trade, and we go back down to the runes, these ones were the gold find, capture rate, experience, and item find. You get 2 of them. You get 4 of these guys, the major runes, and there's a lot more that you can get, a lot more diversity. So you can get damage, health, speed, block chance, evade chance, damage reduction, dual strike, lifesteal, damage and rage, deflect chance, empower chance, and absorb chance. So depending if you're going tank or DPS or whatever, you know, there's quite a few for each different type of gameplay. But for all for this guide, we're focusing on power and DPS. So therefore, absorb chance and damage reduction and stuff not really worthwhile. However, you know, dual strike and damage and stuff and empower chance is really good. And then last, we have the meta runes. And these are circumstantial. So we have, while below 20% health, heals from received from skills are 25% more effective. So this would be good basically for anyone, but good for a tank. You know, when you get low health, you get 25% better heals. While at full health, SP regeneration increased by 10%. So probably not good for tanks, but for DPS, that, you know, if you're in the middle and you're not getting hurt, that could be good. Next one, drain 20% SP from an opponent when you defeat them. Self-explanatory. Your first attack on an opponent deals 5% increased damage. Your opponent's first attack on you deals 5% reduced damage. And attacks on your teammates have a 15% chance to redirect to you. This is by far the best one. And it's obviously for tanks, but this is what tanks use. Like, that's just what they use. Everything else is kind of circumstantial. And I use this one, I'm pretty sure. Just the first attack on an enemy deals more damage. So don't worry too much about the meta runes, especially early on. Then you go to the next tier. So whereas these guys were 5%, you go to the blue, and they are 10%. Exact same types of runes that you can get, it's just the next tier. Then these guys are 15%, and lastly, these guys are 20%. So that's where you get runes from. But early on, I would try and get, probably get some greens or whatever, and then work up to your blues, and then work up to your purples, and then work up to your yellows. So even if you if you buy some runes and they're not the best, they're still better than literally nothing. So you could go, okay, these cost 25 each. I just won't, and say you got like 200 of this rune fragments. Say, oh, I'm not going to spend it on 25 because it's a waste. I'll just save up until I can get 500 and I'll buy one of these. In the time that you've done that and you've saved this 500, you could have bought a heap of these. You could have bought like 2 blue minor runes for 100 each, and then you could have bought 3 major runes in blue and had all these extra like stats and stuff, compared to waiting to just get this. And then you get this and it might be like capture rate. It might not even be the one you want. So I would definitely recommend going through the tiers and getting one at a time. I mean, you could go to blue and then skip purple and go to yellow, or you could go green and skip blue and go to purple, or whatever you want. But I would recommend going through them as they are in order. Okay, so that's a bit on runes. Next, we have mounts. I haven't really touched on mounts too much, but it's basically the same idea as what I just spoke with the runes. Early on, first start of the game, I would get a one of these common mounts. Cost 10 mount guts, and it's cheap. And you know, you get one of these. But you can see here that no matter what you get 10% movement speed. You get 1 bonus, which can be, you know, damage, dual strike, and power chance, any of those modifiers, but you get 64 stats. So by spending, what is it, 10k gold, 10 monster guts, and 100 common materials, all up, not really that expensive, you're getting yourself 64 total score, like, you know, 64 averaged out between power, stamina, and speed. So obviously it's randomized, and you know, you may not get the best stats or whatever. And I'm actually a good example of that. So I got my legendary mount here, but I got damage and rage, which I'm not the biggest fan of. on a DPS at least, but I got 106 in stamina, only 6 in speed, and 48 in power. So if it was up to me, I would want that power and stamina reversed, but I didn't get it. So particularly early on, just buy the common one and be happy with it, whatever you get. Then I would save up 40 and buy a rare one, and same thing, just be happy with whatever you get. The three abilities across the mounts, they all have their own ability. You can see from the first one, you get 64 stats. This one, you get 96 stats, so you're gaining an extra 32 points or whatever it is. But each mount has its own special ability. So Pun Pun here has the ability to spread heal teammates, and then this guy has the ability to do the damage to a target enemy, like we talked about in the PvP video. So super handy. You can get another one of them if you grab one of these mounts. Sorry. And the last one is damaging the first enemy, so it's like a spear. And they're the same types of spells or abilities across all tiers of mounts. But yeah, I would recommend definitely buying this guy, saving up buying this guy. Then what I did was I skipped the epic and went straight to the legendary. So I had a rare mount for a few weeks because I wasn't as active as I usually am, because I had some stuff on, personal stuff, and we went away on holiday and other things. But you know, I would probably do that. It's hard for me to gauge this because mounts came out fairly recently, and I've been, you know, over level 200 for a little while. If it's taking an extraordinarily long time to get mount guts as a lower level player, then maybe it might be better to go for the epic mount here, because you'll get an extra, you know, 36 stats as well. And the bonus that you get, that one bonus of dual strike or power or whatever it be, gets better with each tier of mount. So we can actually have a look at that. If we go here, we can see here that I got 0.75% in power chance, then I got 2% dual strike, and then I got 4% damage and rage. So yeah, obviously the better the mount you get, the better stats you get. But those bonuses also get improved. And then last on the trade option is you can trade 100 energy and some gold to get a raid shard. This is up to you if you want to do this or not. If you're running out of time or something, or you know you've only got a couple of minutes to play or something, this might be beneficial to you, so you can get an extra raid in or something. Or if you're farming familiars, then use your energy on the dungeons, heroic dungeons, and you'll get 3 dungeons for the price of 1 raid. If you do, like, that's basically the same. It's either 3 dungeons and then 10 energy left over, or you can trade it in for 1 raid. So it's up to you what you want to do. And then these two, you don't need to worry about. These are set pieces. When you exchange, when you like disenchant some gear or you know, whatever, exchange some gear. If you exchange a set piece, you will get this option. And then if you fulfill the requirements, then you will get one of the other set pieces. You might get the exact same one that you put in. So say I had the blast protocol, and I wanted the helmet, I could exchange this blast protocol and get this platinum ingot, and then I could get all this together and trade, and I could quite easily get the blast protocol back. So, but these won't become a thing for a while. But hopefully that has helped you understand, A, initially, how to get some more energy if you need it, and then B, what this trade menu is, and what's worthwhile to go for and what's not worthwhile to go for. So yeah, there you go. Either way, that's it for now. As always, thanks for watching, and I will see you next time.